one because I want to send it to recruits in the future. Okay, so Ben and I have been working on a piece called winning, right? Sometimes people like to talk about winning, some people they don't like talking about winning, but today we're going to talk about winning. Talk about two winners in particular and their perspective on winning. And then your job is to guess who they are. Okay, so the first one they said, and you can't Google these things, guys. It's not going to be fair. I can't see you. This person said, I'm in my prime. There's no goal too far, no mountain too high. Any guesses on who said that?
Tom Brady.
I'm going to guess it's Cassius Clay or
Muhammad Ali.
Ooh, you're pretty good. You're not right, but you're pretty good. I like it. Okay, I'm going to keep going. They also said, believe me, the reward is not so great without the struggle.
Will Smith.
Ooh, I mean, you guys, I'm telling you, you're good.
Albert Einstein.
You're good. Not the reward is not so great without the struggle. Okay, last clue. Winning is great, sure. But if you are really going to do something in life, the secret is learning how to lose. Nobody goes undefeated all the time.
Oh.
If you can pick up after a crushing defeat and go on to win again, you are going to be a champion someday.
Tom Brady.
Lombardi.
Kobe Bryant.
Man, you guys are good, and none of you are right.
Michael Jordan.
Muhammad, or I don't know.
Oprah Winfrey.
What's his name?
It's a coach.
The coach of the Patriots.
Bill Belichick.
Denzel Washington. I have so many more guesses.
My favorite thing about this is the secret is learning how to lose. Nobody goes undefeated all the time. But do we all walk through life thinking that we should go undefeated? And if we're not, like if we do lose, like there's something that went wrong, right? I love this quote. This is one you should definitely screenshot. Okay, well, let's see who did say it. Let's see. Hold on. It should play here any second. Potentially. By now you figured out it's Wilma Rudolph, if you read up here. But let's see, what is the dealio with having it? I'm telling you, it's not as awesome as hearing them tell her story.
Plug in your mouse while it's loading.
I know, right? All right. Huh. It's never taken its time before. You know what? I might have to escape.
It's connected now.
Well, no, I know it was always connected. What I want to do though, I want to go, let me close my preview and let me just go right here. And let's go view, present, and let's.
Wilma Rudolph was one of America's first major national superstars in track.
Wilma Rudolph was born on June 23, 1940 in Tennessee, the 20th of 22 children. At age 4, she contracted polio. Her doctors said she would never walk again. But with physical therapy, leg braces, and true grit, Wilma Rudolph was walking by age 12.
During her high school years, Wilma Rudolph was a great basketball player, and Ed Temple from Tennessee State University saw her, and he saw a lot of potential, not only in basketball, but also in track. He had her work out with the college track team in the summers.
At age 16, Wilma Rudolph won a bronze medal in the 1956 Melbourne Olympic Games for the 4x100 relay. Returning to the U.S., she attended Tennessee State University on a scholarship, where Ed Temple continued her training. 4 years later in the Rome Olympics, along with Wilma, almost the entire U.S. track team consisted of Ed Temple's runners.
She was phenomenal in the 1960 Games in Rome. The two sprint events, She won in blowouts, and she anchored the relay team that had come from behind victory to win gold as well.
Wilma Rudolph was the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympics. She became an overnight sensation.
Wilma Rudolph returned home from the Rome Olympics to a hero's welcome. When she learned that her ticker tape parade was to be segregated, she refused to attend and forced a change.
Wilma Rudolph Day was the first integrated event in municipal history in the city of Clarksville, Tennessee.
Wilma Rudolph was only 22 years old when she retired from competitive sports in 1962.
She decided to go back to Tennessee State University, and she got her degree in teaching, and she became a teacher.
Rudolph would go on to coach track at Indiana's DePaul University, serve as a goodwill ambassador to French West Africa, and raise a family of 4 children.
Wilma Rudolph was inducted into the Black Athletes Hall of Fame in 1973, the National Track Hall of Fame in 1974, and she wrote her own autobiography titled Wilma, which was turned into a TV movie in 1977 called Wilma.
Wilma Rudolph died of brain cancer at the age of 54 on November 12, 1994, in Nashville, Tennessee.
One of the most prestigious awards in women's sports is the Wilma Rudolph Award of Courage, given by the Women's Sports Foundation. Wilma Rudolph is a huge inspiration to me and to many others, and really that is her legacy.
What were your ahas on the video?
What an absolute badass.
Yeah, right on. Absolutely.
I thought it was incredible. I just always think it's incredible when someone is like, has something like that, and they just don't decide that that's their future. They decide, regardless of what it is, I'm going to work for a different future. And even if it's impossible, it's just, those videos get me every time.
Right on. She had what, polio? She had, her legs were in braces. She didn't even walk like a normal person until she was 12 years old, right? And then she grew up to be one of the world's fastest runners. Not only that, but she won a bronze medal. Then she went to her second Olympics and won 3 golds, the first woman to ever do that. Like, she's like definitely like a hero of our time, like of this like 100 years that we're part of this world, right? And I think what I love most about the reason Ben and I wanted to do a segment on winning is like to remind ourselves that like people have come before us and they have had struggles. Our struggles are real, and they're also overcomable because other people have been here already for thousands of years and they've overcome things. So I love that. Our second winner had a slightly different perspective on winning. This winner said, winning takes talent, to repeat takes character. Any guesses? Not enough to go on? Okay, I got it, it's good. I wanna give you just a quick example of this. So when we say winning takes talent, to repeat takes character, a really good example of this is like, you look at like the expansion partners, right? The expansion partners, we have what's called an expansion partner model, right? And there's what's called a vesting period, right? Our vesting agreement says that when an expansion partner reaches 2.5 million GCI in a business, that they are vested, right? They become a partner for life, right? The only person that can buy you out at that point would be Ben, essentially. And he would buy you out for a predetermined amount of money. And so this is done in corporate worlds all over the place. So where does the 2.5 million come from, right? Well, the 2.5 million is just not a number out of thin air. It's a number that Ben picked because you can't reach 2.5 million by winning once, right? Anybody can win once, but to repeat takes character. And so we know that talented people, it would take 3 to 5 years or a little bit more for them to hit that, to build that business to that 2.5 million GCI. And the whole point, the whole entire time, wasn't even the 2.5. The whole point the entire time is to see how someone shows up year after year after year before you vest with them for life, right? And so you see how they show up when they win and when they lose and everything in between, right? Winning takes talent. To repeat takes character. John Wooden said this. Oh, where is he? Where's my John Wooden?
You know, we live.
Woo! There you go. We'll get there.
What is the most reward?
What in the world is happening, you guys? Just won't touch it.
What is the most rewarding thing about coaching for you?
The fact that almost all of the players that I had in my 27 years at UCLA graduated, got their degrees, most of them in 4 years, and practically all have done well in chosen professions. I think there's over 30 attorneys, there's 8 ministers, there's 10 or 11 dentists, 10 or 11 doctors, a lot of teachers, but the vast majority are probably just in business of one sort or another. And that makes you feel good.
How were you able to do that, win so many games in that 10-year span? Obviously, you had good players, but you also had
obviously, I didn't win them. My players did. I like to feel that I helped. Of course, I do. But winning breeds winning. And our mutual friend, Mike Krzyzewski, the better he does, the better players he's going to receive. And when you get something rolling, I think they come to you. It's just like building a better mousetrap. And then as time goes by, you learn more about how to work with them. I always tried to take, for years, I would take an extra course in psychology, even after I was teaching, just to learn something about working with people, because I think as far as knowledge of the game, whether it be baseball managers or basketball teacher coaches or whatever it is, I think the knowledge, there's not too much difference, but there's tremendous difference in the way they can get those under their supervision to work together for a common end.
You stepped away from it when you did because what?
I would say most people have a little difficult believing this, but no one knew I was going to do it. I didn't know it. My wife didn't know it. No one. I decided as I walked off the floor after a semifinal game, after we had had a wonderful semifinal game in the Final Four against the University of Louisville. Danny Crum, their coach, a dear friend, played for me and been an assistant, and I knew he was going to be an outstanding teacher of the game. And I visited with him a moment and then started over, and I didn't feel real good. And for the first time ever, I didn't want to go meet the press. And I've never felt that way. And just to myself, I thought, if I feel that way, it's time to get out. And I went to the dressing room. I congratulated my players. I said, I didn't know how we'd do Monday night against Kentucky. I thought we'd do all right because I think we're much quicker, and I believe we have enough size to contend with them. But I want you young men to know that regardless of how we come out Monday night, you haven't given me a problem on or off the court all year, and it's pretty nice to say about the last team you'll ever teach. And they were shocked, and my assistant shocked, and my trainer shocked, and they were all surprised, and I'd made up my mind that quickly. I had thought that I would be for 2 more years. I didn't want to leave the cupboard bare when I left, but I could see for 4 more years with the players I had coming back and the new players that I had recruited and I knew were coming, such as Keegan Vandeweghe and David Greenwood and Royal Hamilton, Brad Holland, all outstanding. And I knew, but I expected to teach 2 more years, and then I'd leave when I left, find material.
So any of you like really like followed like or read about John Wooden at all? Brandon?
No.
When I played basketball, yeah, a lot more than now.
Brandon, do you remember what was that put on your shoes? Do you know that story? When you learned to put the shoes on and the socks on?
No.
You don't? Oh man, you guys are missing out. Okay, all right. Quick things that I got from the video real quick. The better you become, the better players you receive, right? The better you become, the better players you receive, right? the better you become in real estate, the better like leads, the better your clientele all of a sudden becomes. This is like not a fact of basketball. This is a fact of life, right? Oftentimes people don't become better, but they expect better, right? And it doesn't happen that way in professional teams. Why would it ever happen in real life, right? He said, winning breeds winning. Winning breeds winning. And we would call that a lot of that momentum, right? When you can get into action, then you can get into winning. Without getting into action, there's no way to get into winning. I love something that if you follow or you learn about John Wooden, he was one of the most winningest coaches of all time, you guys. And he thrived on the process and not the result. A good example of that is if you went to play basketball for John Wooden, who was just I mean, everybody who was anybody wanted to go play for him. The first thing he would do, like on day one, is you take your shoes off and your socks off, and then he'd teach you how to put your socks on right. He'd teach you how to put your shoes on right, teach you how to lace them, right? Because often you'd have like ankle injuries and things like that, right? Because you just get out of like, you just put on your shoes and you put on your socks, you know. And he was like, we're just going to be a team with that are just, we're just not going to have a lot of injuries, right? Everything was about a process with him. And he didn't have to have like the most talented people. Now, obviously he also had very talented people, but he took people through a process. And it reminds me of like the importance of our 86 days, the previews, the sphere, how to do our presentations, what to say in your scripts. There's a purpose and a process behind success. And then when we were going through this and really learning about John Wooden, one of the things Ben said was, your impatience creates most of your frustrations. Your impatience creates most of your frustrations. And that's one thing that John Wooden wasn't. He wasn't impatient, right? He thrived in the process, and the results just happened because of how stellar his process was.
You know,
I'm going to do just a couple minutes of this one, like the first 2 minutes, because there's a good point on this one. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
We live in an age of sandcastle loyalties, of dissolvable love, of best friends forever, at least until next week's episode. And when I'm sure that nothing lasts anymore, and nothing means anything anymore, and nobody stays true anymore, there's one place I can always go to prove myself wrong. Coach Wooden's house. The Wizard of Westwood turned 99 in October, and inside his little condo in Encino, California, love holds steady, loyalty stays true, and a shrinking little man in a wheelchair stands taller than ever. John Wooden had one college coaching job for 28 years. He was married to one woman for 53 years. He has stayed in this one city for 61 years. He's so simple and so wise, he makes you want to be a better man yourself. Can you remember the last time you used a profanity?
No. Oh, yes, I do too. And let's see. I was about 14.
His last drink was 77 years ago.
No, it was 1932. It's my senior year.
His last love was his first love, his beloved wife, Nellie, who died 24 years ago.
Anyway, this is a longer video. I'll shoot this over to you guys. But one of the things that I as I'm thinking about him and going through everything, one thing that like, how do you stay married to somebody for 50-something years? How do you stay in the same city for so long? How do you live in the same house for so long, right? How do you keep the same job for so long, right? And he certainly did grow up in a different time, right? Like, it was easier probably to stay out of comparison, right? Because people weren't like, you know, everything wasn't on social media 24/7, and you felt like you weren't like, when you see everybody's ticker tape of highlights, sometimes you don't feel like you measure up, right? He never really cared about that. He stayed out of comparison, and he honored his commitments more than most people. Going into that video, it starts going into the two things that are most important to him, which is love and perspective, right? And he built his entire life around love and perspective, right? Love above all things and keeping a good perspective, right? Like not letting things get you down. And he talks a lot about not creating life balance, but creating life harmony. Not creating life balance, but creating life harmony. I really, really loved that about him. He was also known as creating the pyramid of success. Anybody ever see this before? Is this new to anybody, or is this old news?
New.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, the way he saw success wasn't in winning a basketball game. Success is a peace of mind attained through self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to be the best of which you're capable. Okay, so 4 volunteers. I need 4 volunteers. Go.
Me.
Okay, Andrea, you said first. You go, read the bottom piece of the pyramid.
Industriousness. There is no substitute for work. Worthwhile results come from hard work and careful planning. Friendship comes from mutual esteem, respect, and devotion. Like marriage, it must not be taken for granted, but requires a joint effort. Loyalty to yourself and to all those depending upon you. Keep your self-respect. Cooperation with all levels of your coworkers. Listen if you want to be heard. Be interested in finding the best way, not in having your own way. Enthusiasm brushes off upon these with whom you come in contact. You must truly enjoy what you are doing.
Perfect. Who's my next volunteer to read the next layer?
I'll do it. Self-control, practice self-discipline, and keep emotions under control. Good judgment and common sense are essential. Alertness, be observing constantly, stay open-minded, be eager to learn and improve. Initiative, cultivate the ability to make decisions and think alone. Do not be afraid of failure, but learn from it. Intentness, set a realistic goal. Concentrate on its achievement by resisting all temptations and being determined and persistent.
Right on. Who wants to take the next layer?
I'll do. Go ahead, Daniel.
Condition, mental, moral, physical rest, exercise, and diet must be considered. Moderation must be practiced. Dissipation must be eliminated. Skill, a knowledge of and the ability to properly and quickly execute the fundamentals. Be prepared and cover every little detail. Team spirit, a genuine consideration for others and an eagerness to sacrifice personal interests of glory for the welfare of all.
Right on. That's an interesting one on team spirit, by the way. That one stuck out to me because I've always thought team spirit is like the cheerleader, like, woo, right? Team spirit, an eagerness to sacrifice personal interests of glory for the welfare of all. Boom, right? Casey, you want to take the top 3?
Yeah. So poise, just being yourself, being at ease in any situation, never fighting yourself. Confidence, respect without fear, may come from being prepared and keeping all things in proper perspective. And then the top one is competitive greatness. Be at your best when your best is needed. Enjoyment of a difficult challenge.
So if you guys have kids and you're wondering like, God, what character traits should I make sure my kids have, right? Or if you yourself are still growing up, right? And you're like, man, like what character traits should I make sure I define in my life? Or if you're just like, man, am I even becoming a good person? I mean, just screenshot this or print it out. Like this stuff is good stuff, you guys. This is not, it's not the left or the right. It's not agnostic. It's not Christian. It's just good human being stuff. And you got on your left, it's all bookended by ambition and adaptability and resourcefulness and having a fight within you and having faith and sincerity and honesty and reliability and integrity and patience, right? I love this. This is a good pyramid of success, you guys. Almost every top organization, sports organization in the world uses this. This is something that they use. There's a reason that you see people winning and you see other people, you know, not winning. And it comes down to the effort that somebody puts in, right? All right, let me take you through really quickly the 9 things that we got out of this. And all I want you to do is screenshot these so that you have them for the future. And I'm going to go real quick because that's why I want you to screenshot. Because I'm not going to slow down. All right. So the very first thing that we said is winners practice. And a winner never stops practicing what got them to where they are in the first place, right? Because anyone can achieve that small amount of success. Some people can even go up the ladder and they can get to moderate success. But then you've got the real difference between the people who become wildly successful and those that fall off track. And they just always forget, you know, just they remember the first win, but that's about it, right? The winners are the ones that never stop practicing that original skill, that foundational piece that was so influential on their journey. And they don't forget where they came from. They know that their first win was their first win for a reason, and they keep doing that. Winners, they seek knowledge. A winner never says, I figured it out, I've got the answer, because there is no answer, not a permanent one anyway, right? You might discover your next move on the chessboard, but the moment that you proclaim to yourself or to the world that you've got it all figured out is the moment that you begin defending what you've got instead of fighting for how much more you can have. There's always room for that growth. There's always room to learn. There's always room for you just in general. Winners will stop looking for that destination. They just don't look for that finish line. What they see is the next wall that they're prepared to run through. A good example of this, you guys, is I'll be like on a webinar and somebody else like from the team or somebody else from the partner group will be on the same webinar, and I'll be like, how was the webinar? What'd you think? And they'll be like, I already knew most of that stuff. And I'm like, say what? I took like 2 pages of notes, right? And it's like winning is up here. It's always up here. Right. Winners purposefully use their time. A winner is hyper aware of how they spend every single moment of their day. You really want to become successful, you got to be prepared to be intentional with that entire structure of your routine. Your day-to-day lifestyle matters, start to finish. The way you relax has to be intentional as the way you work. The people you spend your time with have to be as important to you as your own goals and aspirations. Every single aspect of your life has to be done purposely. Why? Because the marker of someone determined to design their life is this. Right? There's the default life, and then there's the designed life. Winners act responsibly. Winner owns their mistakes so they can learn how to improve faster. You're not a winner if you can't own up to your missteps. And it's not just about accountability. It's about having the ability to take a good, hard look at yourself, question how you can continue to improve. People sometimes will take they'll take accountability and say, you know, see, I took the blame, right? But you're missing the entire point, right? It's not about proving to everybody else that you took the blame. It's about using every moment as an opportunity to grow. And a winner will welcome those moments. Winners seek mastery. They focus on mastering their craft, not proving their talents. This is a good one because you can always tell the difference between a winner and a wannabe in the way they treat what they do. A winner cares far more about becoming the best at their craft, regardless of how many people know it. Whereas a wannabe wants the entire world to know how great they are, and they simultaneously struggle to spend adequate time mastering their craft. The two start moving opposite of each other. Winners, they learn from failure. Winners see their failures as opportunities to prove themselves again. Because when a wannabe falls down, they stay down. They wallow and they wonder how it all went wrong. They struggle to see the lesson. And they're usually the people that you hear say, taking just so much pride in what they used to do, who they used to be, what great thing they did in the past, because it comforts them as they're laying face down on the pavement, right? A winner does the opposite. They see what their downfall was, and they see it as an opportunity to climb and climb again, to prove that they weren't a one-hit wonder, to demand of themselves the greatness that they're capable of again and again. This is an important one because we see this a lot in our world. All right, winners create a circle of winners. A winner only spends time with other winners. The vast majority of people don't understand what it actually means. Winners spending time with winners has nothing to do with actual external success or what's been achieved. A winner recognizes work ethic, drive, passion, vision, and most of all, dedication. Those are the defining characteristics that even the most successful people look for in up-and-comers. It's not about what you've done to prove yourself already. It's about who you are and the early signs that show where you're headed in life. Winners are patiently impatient. A winner knows that success can't be judged by the day or even the week. It has to be judged over the long term because they know that nothing great happens overnight. It may appear that way. It may look from the outside like it happened suddenly, but anyone who's ever built something of value knows that success does not hit quickly. It comes after months and years of hard work and a constant focus on improvement. It's also why winners have to have unrelenting patience. And nobody's born with it, right? You learn the hard way that great things take time. And the very last one, authority is earned. Winners know that authority is earned. A winner doesn't care about a title. Titles are for people who judge their worth externally. At best, a winner will use a title as a simple means of explaining what they do. But when push comes to shove, they will not refer to their title and status to gain leverage over others. True winners who are in their hearts leaders know their value, and their value is not defined by a title. It's exemplified in who they are, what they do, and the way they do it. And to wrap it up from our good friend, John Wooden, winning and losing aren't all they're cracked up to be, but the trip to the destination is. And it goes right back to that process, right? If you can't fall in love with the process, if you can't fall in love with the journey, then it's going to be real hard to ever truly be happy. Like, happiness isn't in the result. Like, it feels good and it's awesome and it'll give you that high for 2 seconds. And then after that, like, you got to have something that you're falling back on, and it's got to be your process. It's got to be your journey, because the actual destination, it's very short-lived. And that is what winning looks like for me and Ben, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And if you'll do me a favor, if you'll go to the chat box, and if you will put in your priority for today, that would be awesome. And then you could just share your gratitude. Awesome. Casey, share your gratitude for the day, and I'm just gonna go boom, boom, boom after that.
Yeah, my gratitude is for Daniel. I am not in the office alone today, and his energy is 1 million megajoules, and I love it. It is great. It is infectious, and I'm ready to channel it into a telephone.
Into a telephone. I love it. I love it. Daniel, gratitude.
So I got 2. I hope that's okay. So the first one is I'm so grateful for the team. I was told right before I got into real estate that you cannot survive on real estate as a full-time job. This is not something you do full-time. So just so you know. And I was like, I think you're wrong, but it's cool. Second is for my physical health, right before COVID and during COVID, ever since we got pregnant, I've been determined to be able to do things with my kid when they're 18. And so I've just been able to finally get in shape and feel healthier than I felt in years. So pretty cool. And even through COVID up until now. So I feel like better than I have felt in years. So
nice. Well done. Memo, morning.
Morning. I'm grateful for this power up, and it obviously shows that you spend time in preparation and research on all of that. So we so appreciate that. Thank you.
Got it. Bunch of winners around here. Bonnie, morning.
Good morning. I'm grateful for this power up too. It's super inspiring, and I feel like I need to be reminded of this like every day.
Welcome to the club. Most of us do this stuff because we also need it. So don't worry. I'm there with you. Right on. Amber, morning. Amber. We'll come back to Amber. Let's see. Do I have Andrew or Alicia on their little thing? I'm not sure. Okay, they're not talking to me.
Sorry. My gratitude is for the power up as well. Really impactful, really strong stuff. Thanks for sharing.
You got it. Beth, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm super grateful for this power up. Ready to go kick today's ass. So I'm ready.
There you go. Andrea, morning.
I am grateful for Kyle and his ability to always move things forward in our business. He found a way to make our business a very large chunk of money, and he's trying it out, whether it works or not, and he just goes for it. I love that. And it's hauling water in a truck. That's it.
It's amazing. I love it.
Good at being the middleman, put it that way. And so it's exciting.
San Antonio, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What are you guys grateful for out there?
I'm grateful that our team provides the ability to win quickly, even though it's not always the goal. I was working on these deals all day Tuesday, with potentially 3 deals, and then they all just kind of, I'm still going to pen 1 today, but I'm okay with that because I know that tomorrow I can just pen 2 more because of what I've learned on the team and the way we're structured and the resources that we have. It's not a big deal. I know that sounds foreign to the new agents on the team, so I don't want to sound pompous or like an ass, but once you've figured out all of the resources, it's not hard at all to go get business. And so 4 years ago, I would have been like, oh man, 2 deals, I'm a loser, it sucks, and what am I going to do? Now I'll just go get 2 more deals. So grateful for the team.
Right on.
I'm grateful for the team in another way, really, we preach, win, make, give, and do good, and then to have it instilled in your personal life. And my friend who had gotten robbed, I went and saw her last night and went by the house, and she was just in such great spirits, and a lot of that was from the GoFundMe account that everybody's helped with. And she was like, when I moved here, I was just so pessimistic because there was so much bad in the world. And she's like, I just really thank you guys for helping me focus on the good and letting it drown out the bad. So grateful for the team and instilling that in myself.
Right on.
I'm grateful to have perspective this morning. Being new, you want to try to get through everything and get it all done correctly. And
yeah. All of that.
It's all possible. It's all right in front of me, and one step at a time, and the end is good.
Yep.
I can see it. So
1% every week.
And I am grateful for relationships and friendships in particular, surrounding you when you don't need it, but in particular when you do.
Absolutely. Right on. Right on.
That's right.
Jonathan.
Hey everybody. I am grateful for Casey. He is very good at reining me in, and I really appreciate that. I can sometimes run a little wild and get very busy, so I really appreciate him being able to say, listen, let's reset, focus on the foundation, figure out what you haven't mastered yet, and then all the rest will come. So I appreciate that.
That's really good. That's really good. Ashley, you want to wrap us up?
Sure. I'm grateful for 2 things wrapped into one. I'm grateful for all the resources that that you guys provide for me, specifically Mojo. I don't know what I would do without it. And my husband, I finished on Mojo, or thought I was finished, and my husband's like, did you get anything? I was like, well, kind of, not really. And he said, okay, we'll get back on the phones then. And I was like, okay. And it took me until 4:30, my last phone call, to land my buyer's consult. And so I'm grateful for my husband pushing me and Mojo too, and you guys.
Oh my God, best story. You know what? Mic drop. Winning right there. Winning. I love it.
That's so awesome.
Casey is shedding a tear on the inside right now.
Yeah, inside, on the inside.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Have the best day. And tomorrow, Chris Suarez is doing a really awesome call at 10 o'clock. You don't have to be on video. You can just listen in while you get ready in the morning or whatever. He's definitely one not to miss if you have the ability to at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 8 o'clock his time, so he gets up a lot earlier to present.
Hey guys, sorry I missed gratitude. My dog was crying and I had to go run downstairs and let him out. I think I got scared.
What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for Beth and Andrea have been helping me a lot while I'm stuck in quarantine, so I'm really thankful for them. Sorry I missed it.
No worries. Teamwork. Love it. Okay, I'll see you guys Monday. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.